Okay, welcome. So this is where we were at the close of the last video, and we're doing pretty well. We had a whole bunch of meshes. They were all sort of lumped together in one buffer. We could draw them all. Things are looking nice. What I want to focus on in this video is different ways of moving memory around, or really just one new way of moving memory around. The way we got this vertex memory into the card is we wrote to a mapped region, and then the card read from that region in the RAM. And that's fine. But once that memory is in the card, we can then copy that memory to another region. Now this is really important if we have a certain memory type which is more high performance, but maybe because it's so high performance, it's close to the graphics card and it's not something that we can just throw data into it from the CPU. Anyway, I'm doing a great job of explaining this. Okay, so it turns out this is almost just a slight reordering of what we already have. I'm just going to make a few modifications. We can go to the memory function, and I'm going to, where are we? Find memory type index, that's fine. This allocate buffer memory. So see, right here I am hard coding this. What do we have here? We have this input chunk. I'm going to give input chunk a new field, which is the memory properties. So now we'll be able to request different types of memory on creation. So just go to the config and then here we go, memory property flags. And I just realized this should be flags as well, not flag bits. Flag bits are the individual values of the enum. We sort of chain them together and that makes a flag. Okay. So now in theory we should be able to request this, and I'm going to add one more function, and that is basically copying from one buffer to another. Okay, cool. So copying from one command buffer to another command buffer is an internal job. It needs to be submitted on a queue. It's not a non-trivial thing. In order to do that, we'll need to specify a queue that we're going to submit it on. In this case, the graphics queue will work just fine. And we also need a command buffer. Now we could allocate the command buffer from the device. That would work, but our engine has a main command buffer which was created for these tasks, so let's use that. So we'll just go in here and write the function. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is reset the command buffer in case any other work has been done on it. And then we will begin the command buffer. There we go. This will be a one-time job, and then we can begin. Okay. So the job that we're doing is we're going to need to copy from one to the other, but part of that, I guess, is we're going to need to specify the region of the buffer to copy. So how would you copy? You would have, well, you want to specify how many bytes you're copying. You want to know the start position in both the source and the destination. By default, these are 0, but I am going to specify them anyway. Okay, with that specified, we can then perform the copy, record the copy command. Okay, so that was the only job I wanted to do, so we can now end and submit. Worth noting here that we can specify a fence in order to wait until this command has completed. So if we had 10 different commands that we were submitting, submissions we were making on our queue, then we could wait at a point before proceeding. But let's just go with the nuclear solution. Why not? Okay, so that function is working. Okay, awesome. Now we'll go to Vertex Menagerie, and all the work is going to happen in this finalize bit. Have I missed something? I probably have. So I'm now requesting a whole bunch of extra bits, specifically the queue and the command buffer. So I should probably specify those here. Just double check. Oh, right. Now I remember what it was. We can go to the header and make a... Wait, what am I doing? I'm losing it. Okay, so in the Vertex Menagerie, we'll make a struct which specifies the fields used to finalize that thing. So before we were using these ones. Let's go with that as well as... Okay, so now in here, when we finalize, instead of passing in all these arguments, we can just pass in that struct, very creatively named, and we'll work with that. And then on the engine side, okay, awesome. So this is setting up all of the bits required to not only allocate that buffer, but allocate a second buffer deep in the device, which will be high performance memory, and then perform the copy operation from one to the other. So I guess all that remains is to work on that finalize function. And now this one is not being used as a vertex buffer, it's being used as a transfer source. Okay, and the memory properties there are going to be that, what was it? The host visible and host coherent. Okay, cool. So this will create a traditional buffer. So we can go declare this as a temporary variable. This will be destroyed after it's been used. Okay. So again, here we have created this temporary buffer which our CPU can talk to, and we've mapped into there, and we've sent our data. Now let's set this up to create the high performance buffer. None of this stuff needs to change. The size will be the same. Everything will be the same, only it will be a transfer destination, and it will be used as a vertex buffer. And then in the memory properties, device local memory, that's the stuff. And this could be any other location at all. This could even, we could even be copying from one host visible location to another. There's no reason not to do that, so it is good practice. So now we'll create the Vertex Buffer. Then we'll copy it over. So we'll copy from So it's really just an exercise in passing things around from one function to another. After we've done that, we can then completely destroy and free the staging buffer. Don't need that anymore. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. There we go. Okay, so fingers crossed. Let's see how that performs. And when I say see how that performs, I mean let's see if it throws a massive error. So there we have it. It works at least. It hasn't thrown any errors. Performance looks about the same. About the same. But yeah, there we have it. That's a cool little exercise. Just out of curiosity, I wonder what happens. Just go off script for a little bit. What happens if I run this in release mode? Probably nothing, I imagine. Like a little bit faster, maybe. Okay. So it is faster. It's still in the same ballpark. And anyway, I'm sure the other example would have performed the same way anyway. So, yeah. That's fun. And, yeah. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.